Right, it is another day, and today we're going to go explore Asakusa, and we're going to start with Sensoji Temple. And everything you read online says to get here before 8 a.m. as that's when the hordes of tourists arrive. It is now just before 7:30 and there's already a crowd here. Let's go explore anyway, and I can show you on the way. Where I'm standing right now is called Namakase Street, and it's a 250-meter long street with shops lining either side, which all sell traditional sweets and souvenirs. It is one of the main streets leading to the temple, and it is very photogenic. Now, there's 7:30 in the morning and there are still lots of people here, but I want you to take note of the crowds between now at 7:30 and when I come back at 9 a.m. to see the difference. Right, let's go have a look inside the temple.
Sensoji is Tokyo's oldest Buddhist temple. Legend has it that in 628 AD, two brothers fishing the Sumida River pulled up a golden statue of Kannon, the goddess of mercy. No matter how many times they tried to return the statue to the river, the statue always found its way back to them. The village headman saw this as a divine sign and converted his home into a temple and dedicated his life to worshipping the statue. Then in 645 AD, a Buddhist priest built a hall to enshrine the statue so that the wider community could pay their respects. But after a revelation, he decided that the statue was so sacred that it must remain hidden from public view at all times, a tradition that continues to this day. In the 9th century, another priest created an identical statue which is now shown to the public just once a year.
Oh man, it is boiling today. I'm getting scorched alive here even with my sun cream on. But I've had a look inside the temple now, and one of the things you can do when you come back out is to check your fortune, and there's a method to do it here at these buildings just beside me. So let's go see what my fortune is. I had a very good one at a temple I went to a few weeks ago, so I'm kind of expecting a bad fortune this time, but let's find out together. Here we go then, and it's only going to cost me 100 yen. Got number 50. Let's see what that yields. I have got a regular fortune, whatever that means. Let's read it and find out. Interesting. A lot of that matches up with what was said in the other fortune I got. But I think these are written in a general sense, so these could apply to literally anyone. I think it's all to do with your perception of your life at the minute, right? If I got a bad one, I would be like, oh wow, that is so what my life is like right now. But this is a good one, and I'm saying a lot of this actually lines up with my life in its current state. Anyway, that's the fortunes. We're going to head back down Nakamise Street now because I want to show you how busy it gets at 9 a.m. Okay, full disclosure, I came here at 9 and the crowds weren't that much worse than what they were at 7:30 in the morning, to be honest. They're maybe double, but that still didn't feel like a lot. But I've come back now, it is 10:15 or 10:15, and just look at the difference in the crowds of people. All the shops are open now, so there's a reason for people to be here and hang around. When you get done with the temple, you can head back down Nakamise Street and head across the road to the Tourist Information Centre because there's a very cool viewpoint up there that is great for photos. Let me show you. So we've gone to the 8th floor of the Tourist Information Centre, and do be warned, this can get busy. There was already a queue there when I arrived at 5 to 9 and the place only opens at 9. Anyway, let's go to the viewing deck here. It looks like there's plenty of space to be taking photos, so we should be fine.
If you're into photography like I am, then this viewing deck is a must on your Tokyo itinerary because it allows you to gain a unique perspective looking down over Sensoji, where you can see the contrast of the old temple architecture against the sprawling modern metropolis. If it's not busy, I recommend using your tripod to take a long exposure so that you remove all the people from Nakamise Street. Although this second image is a 3-minute exposure and there are still lots of ghosts in the image. So be prepared for the longest of long exposures if that is your desire.
Now, you could easily spend half an hour or an hour walking up and down the street, browsing the shops and buying things, but I'm budget traveling, so I am going to choose to spend my budget wisely and not on things I can find here. And the way I'm choosing to wisely spend my budget is to get some coffee and pancakes, because as I've said in my other videos, I'm a millennial and I need to start my day with a coffee. So let's go find a good coffee house that does pancakes. In fact, we don't need to find one. I already know where one is, so that is where we're going to go right now.
Buglen is a 5-minute walk from Sensoji, and honestly, for a good morning coffee, there is no distance I wouldn't walk. But the main reason I came here was for the delicious Norwegian waffles. The fact Buglen serves good coffee with a cozy Scandinavian interior was a bonus. Although, do be warned, it can be very busy, and for a budget traveler, the waffles are a little pricey.
Right, so I was wrong about Asakusa because I thought there wasn't much to do here, but if you love food, this is a great place to explore. So right now I'm in Asakusa Nishi Sando, which is a covered shopping street like an arcade. It's very pretty and there are lots of street food stalls here. But yeah, if you like street food and you like souvenir shopping, come to Asakusa Nishi Sando. That you're going to find something to pick up here, no problem at all. It is absolutely scorching today. I think it's about 31 degrees and it's fairly humid too. Luckily I'm in sports clothes, but that does not prevent me getting dehydrated, so I need to find a shop and pick up a bottle of Pocari Sweat, which is the best drink for rehydration in my opinion. That's not scientific fact, it's just my opinion. Never mind, I can't find a shop, but I can find the next best thing, which is these vending machines. They are everywhere in Japan, and I mean everywhere, even in the countryside. It's only been about an hour since I've had breakfast, but right now I'm going to go and get lunch. And the reason I'm going to go and get lunch right now is because on my way here I walked past a sushi restaurant. It's not just any sushi restaurant, it was an omakase sushi restaurant, which means you just turn up and you let the chef decide what they're going to give you. Now, the restaurant is quite expensive for dinner, at least in terms of my budget. But in Japan, if you go to restaurants at lunchtime, you can usually get a much better deal and still get the same quality food that you would get at dinner time. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to head to this omakase sushi restaurant and get a nice cheap lunch, but a high quality lunch. Let's go.
Before we get to the sushi, I would be remiss if I didn't advise you on just how many shops and eateries there are in the streets surrounding Sensoji. So if you're on the hunt for souvenirs or tasty treats, you'll more than likely find them in and around the temple. Now, shopping isn't my thing, but I did come across this fancy knife shop which did catch my eye, and I'm kinda sad I didn't pick up a knife to bring home with me. Anyway, let's get back to the sushi. A 10-minute walk from the Kaminarimon or entrance gate of Sensoji, you'll find Komagata Sushi, which is a family-run restaurant that has been serving sushi for over 50 years. Inside, you'll find the Irame, or master sushi chef and owner, Taka-san, who is very warm and welcoming, and after serving you some delightful sushi, is happy to converse with you in English, or maybe even give you a lesson in how to actually eat sushi the correct way.
Right, catch. Good, not good.
Okay.
Okay. Please try. And touch rice. Not all, little part. Touch also.
Right.
Yes. Good.
All of this sushi was just 2,900 yen, and it's omakase sushi, which is extra special. And look, there's no one else here at lunchtime, but this place comes very highly recommended, so give it a try if you're in Asakusa. You cannot miss this for the experience alone. Perfect. So this is Taka-san, the master behind the sushi. Thank you so much. Gochitsu-sama deshita.
I hope you enjoy your travel.
Absolutely beautiful. Honestly, the best sushi I've had in all of Japan. Thank you so much. Okay, so Taka gave me his card, and his actual real full name is Kiyotaka Suzuki. So I think he was just being kind by saying I could call him Taka. But this is the name of the sushi, Komagata Sushi. So if you're in Asakusa, definitely come here. He is such a lovely man. He's so friendly and he gives good conversation as well. And it turns out he's actually a calligraphy and tea ceremony instructor. And actually a sushi instructor, so I'm guessing you could maybe book him for all three of those things if that's what you're into. Oh, I'm so happy. Like, that was so cheap, 2,900 yen for all that plus dessert. Wow, can't beat it. Anyway, I'm fed and watered now. It is time to do a bit of sightseeing, and the biggest sight we can see quite literally in all of Tokyo is the Sky Tree, and it happens to be very close. It's only about a 20 to 25 minute walk away. So to save on cost, I'm gonna get my feet moving and walk there and see what I can find along the way. So here is what happened yesterday. After my sushi, I decided I was very full and very sleepy. And luckily for me, my hostel was only about 100 meters away from the omakase sushi restaurant. So I ended up going back for a nap and did not go to the Sky Tree, because by the time I woke up, the the sky had turned into a big grey mess. It had gone from a really sunny day to a really dark and overcast day, and I didn't think it was worth looking up the sky tree to get no views. But today is a new day, so that is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to head to the sky tree. But before I do that, I wanted to show you a famous Tokyo landmark. In fact, it's almost infamous. It's the golden turd over behind me here. And it's actually supposed to be the Asahi flame, but the locals have renamed it the golden turd for obvious reasons. That sits on top of the Asahi beer hall, and the building next to it, I believe, is the Asahi beer headquarters, and we're actually going to be going into that building later today for a beer. But right now we're going to go to the sky tree and pick up where we left off yesterday. Here we are then at the observation deck on the Tokyo sky tree at 350 meters. Now there is another observation deck at 450 meters, but I'm not going up there today because it is an extra 1,000 yen just to go an extra 100 meters, and I don't think it's worth it. And from what I've read online, other people think the same thing, especially on a day like today because it is so hazy, you can't see very far. But having said that, the views you get from here are pretty insane. You can see all over Tokyo, and you can see how big this city is. It is just insanely big. I cannot believe how far it stretches, and I'm very conscious of the fact that the haze is probably hiding a lot more beyond what I can actually see right now. But I think if you're budget conscious and maybe short on time, you could probably skip the sky tree because it is again a bit out of the way and it is very expensive. There are a number of viewpoints around Tokyo that are free that give you city views. Maybe not as high as this one, but maybe better because they're in the actual city, like in Shibuya or Shinjuku. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy the views a bit more, then we're going to head down and go to the Asahi beer hall or the Asahi headquarters for a beer. Right, my plans have been scuppered. The Asahi Sky Room, where I was planning to get a beer and have a view over the city, is actually closed for renovations, unfortunately. Now, it is open again next week, the staff told me, so I am coming back to Tokyo in a week's time, so I think I'll come back here and give it a go then. But yeah, disappointing, but it's not a complete loss because right across the road or the plaza from the Asahi headquarters building is the Asahi Annex, and it looks like they do a lot more kind of craft style beers, going by the signs on the outside at least anyway. So let's head inside here and get a beer as a consolation prize because I worked myself up to the point where I've actually needed one.
So it turns out this is actually a subsidiary of Asahi Beers. This is Sumida Brewing, and I've specialised in craft beers, and I think it's actually been a really good shout to come here because they have a beer flight with craft beer. So you get a stout, you get a Weizen beer, and you get a pale ale and a Kolsch style beer, and they're all so delicious. They're all very light. Now the stout I think is my favourite, even though I'm comparing it to Guinness because I am Irish. It is not a Guinness. It is not as smooth as a Guinness, but it is much lighter and it's a bit more fizzy or carbonated, but it does go down a treat, and I think this flight is perfect for a warm day because the beers are all very, very light and they are not overpowering with their fragrances or their flavours. So if you're into your beer, if you're into craft beer, come here, as well as going to the Asahi Sky Bar.
That's right.
So guys, that is the end of this video. Everything in this will form part of a greater Tokyo travel guide. So if you like this video, please hit the like button so YouTube knows to push this out to other people who might also like it. And if you want to keep up to date with all my future videos, including the Tokyo guide, hit subscribe and YouTube will let you know when I post a video in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.